I'm waiting to see if somebody actually get on here. It's pretty late. It's almost midnight. But I've been having an in-depth conversation. And I want to know why it's okay for some people, or why people feel it's okay to infiltrate their thoughts and feelings and upon you. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why people think that that's okay. Everybody want to push their own agenda, but everybody know how they want to be treated. And you try to show people how you want to be treated, but they, in turn, still overstep those boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure out why people don't respect your boundaries. Why they want to overstep and override what it is that you know for yourself. Regardless of what somebody else feel about how you operate and function, regardless, do you understand? You need to respect how somebody feels. You don't need to just show up and push yourself and the way you feel about something on someone. That's projecting energy. I'm just going to see if people show up in here. It's late. Thank you. Got me some lemon water. But what I'm saying is, when it comes down to, is there a way for y'all to, can somebody leave a message or something here so I can know there's somebody in here? I can't tell, but it's okay. It don't matter. I'm just about to vent anyway. So I was just having a conversation, and in this conversation, a couple things came up, about conspiracy theories, about people being, just not respecting what your request is. Somebody tell you they don't want to know something, then don't tell them. Because as soon as you tell somebody something, that thing becomes part of them in one way or another. Whether it's attached to their subconscious mind, or it's attached to their frontal lobe, or however it shows up, it's a thing. So what I'm saying to you is, don't just project yourself on other people. Just don't do that. In this conversation I was having, I asked that, just don't tell me nothing. What's so hard about don't tell me anything? When people want to tell you something, again, it becomes part of what you are or who you are. For example, I know this is going to sound crazy to y'all, but I had someone tell me, I go frequent this place, a certain place often. And this place that I frequent often, they say things, they told me that things happen in this place. So now, when I go to this place, when I was oblivious to anything happening in this place, now when I go to this place, now all of a sudden, I'm always thinking and always in the back of my mind thinking about the things that I've been told that happens in this place. So now I'm always up in arms instead of being able to just be freely me in that space when I asked that, please don't tell me nothing about nothing. Another example. I have projects that I do. And I kind of keep to myself. You know what I mean? Like, I try to keep things to myself because I really don't want people sharing my knowing what I got going on. Because when you share what you got going on, you now invite everybody's and feelings and intentions and all of that to that space. Whatever that is, I don't care whether it's good intentions, bad intentions, whatever it is, you inviting people to give their opinion towards your situation. I'm trying to figure out, why is it nothing here? Why is the lock on? Pin to live stream. What is going on? Why is my live like this? Okay, so anyway, when that happens, and you allow people to enter your space, then you're allowing them to infiltrate your thoughts, your energy, your mood, your whole thing. I'm an empath. I don't know if y'all familiar with what an empath is. That's somebody who can feel things, you know, and actually put themselves in other people's positions and actually feel that whole situation almost as if it happened to them. So I feel a lot of things. I can feel vibrations and energies and spirits and things like that touching me before it even happens sometimes, or even after it happens, or while it's happening, or someone shares some information. So it's easy for me to grasp in these things. They attach to me because of who I am. So I have to actually put up a shield, like a block, to, I call it a force field, right? That so that you can't get through to me like that. So in that same thought process that I'm putting these force fields up, telling you that I don't want to know this information, is because I am an empath and I can feel everything and I think about everything, and what we think we manifest into our lives. And whether or not we believe that, think that, know that, whatever the situation is, this is my experience and it's me. So when I'm telling somebody, do not give me your shit because I don't want to have it, I don't want to deal with that, I don't want that to be part of who or what I got going on, then I am so serious. Because in my world, I should be able to create the things that I want to create without someone else infiltrating their information and feelings and all of their opinions upon me. And that's why I don't watch the news. That's why um, I really don't I don't really get into all of the social media hype stuff. Yeah, I'm here on YouTube, but I'll bypass some BS in a minute. All that Diddy trial and all of that stuff, I ain't get involved with none of that stuff. Every time I thought somebody was about to talk about something like that, I walked away from it because that's not my space. It's not my concern, and I don't care. I just don't care. Because if I cared about everything, then it would be a problem. I would be more stressed out than I am right now. I wish I knew why I couldn't see no messages on here if y'all actually typing messages. I wish I knew why I can't see it, but it is. Let me see what's happening. I don't know. That's weird. But anyhow, um, oh, maybe it's something up here. Hold on a second. Let's see. I don't know. I want that. I ain't never seen this thing on the side. I don't know what's going on. It's just weird. Maybe because it's late. I don't know. But anyway, I just got on here. I needed to vent because in my experience, when dealing with other people, I share my experience. If you want to listen to it, you listen, right? You don't have to be here. You don't have to be listening to this. You don't even have to hear what I got to say. So you can choose to what your ears receive. But once you hear something, you can't unhear it. Once you see something, you can't unsee it. So no matter how much you be like, oh, I'm just gonna throw that out. I'm just gonna throw that out of my mind, and I ain't gonna even think about it no more. That's a lie. You're lying to yourself, and you're lying to others too. Because you can't just throw it out your mind, and you can't just throw it out. It's impossible. That don't work like that. So, yeah. The other thing is, when you get to a point in your life where you just done with all of the, I don't know, extra drama, all of the extra giving in to others, allowing everything to be one-sided. You know, we live in a one-sided society, world. What I mean is we have a group of people who deal with, it's almost like high school, right? You got this particular group of people, you got this particular group of people, and then you got this group of particular people. These people over here that's over on this side are the people who are the mainstream people, the people who always going to show up, and their ideas and all of their things are the things that people rock with and they roll with, right? But then you got these other people who that have ideas, but they go against the grain of what has been normalized, right? Because there's no such thing as normal. We created something that's normal, and it's just because it's um, common. Because it's common doesn't make it normal. Do you know that? Did you know that if something's common, it doesn't make it normal? And that's kind of brings me back to, I'm not normal, nor am I common. So I go against the grain every time. So when I say things like, I don't want to know what's going on in the news, that's not common. You get what I mean? That's not normal, because people, they say, you need to know. I was told tonight in a conversation that there are things that I need to know. But I was adamant that I don't need to know these things. I don't need to know. I don't have to know them. I don't need to know them. It's not required for me to know. And who said that I do? That's what I want to know. Who said that I need to know these things? Where did that rule come from? I definitely go against the grain, and I ain't down with no rules. I don't really mess with authority like that, because I am my own person, and I know how to function in this world and move around. But when I ask for somebody just to respect my space, that's all I ask for. Respect my space and my boundaries. That's it. The more I talk about different things, the more people say, oh, you just a conspiracy theorist. You think everything is happening is real, and you think the information you get is true. I said, well, do you know where I get my information from? This is the part where people don't understand. Do you know where I get my information from? See, my information don't come from no source that is written on Google. You probably can't Google the things that I get my information from. You probably you probably can't even Google it, but they got these things out here now, the AI, Chat GPT, and There's a whole bunch of different ones, right? That you can talk to, that you can have these conversations with. And they don't even know until you tell it, right? You say something to them like, hey, I heard that such and such and such and such. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? And they're going to go and search Google. Google runs everything. Understand that. Google runs YouTube. You on here watching YouTube, Google runs YouTube. This is what I'm saying. Like right now, we're out here looking at all kinds of possibilities of things that could be happening. And we're asking Google, which is ran by, Google, which runs everything, but somebody has to feed Google the information. So how do we know the information coming from Google is the real deal? But when I say it, I'm a person, a human being. I'm not a computer. I'm not I'm not Siri. I'm not Chat GPT. But I say to you, I got some information. I received information from my source. And this question, well, no, it don't work like that because that don't make sense because it go against the grain. Or I'm a conspiracy theorist. Or that thing that I was talking about, don't line up with what's really going on. That's the problem. You don't have to rock with what I'm talking about. And that's the boundaries that I'm talking about. Respect my boundaries when I say I don't want to know because I got my own source of what I'm talking about. I got my own source. Do y'all know what source I'm talking about? Some of y'all refer to these sources as different things, right? But my source come to me in downloads. We are just like these computers, right? We are the AI. Without AI, without us, there is no AI. AI studies our videos, our content. They study us as a people. They try to humanize that AI, make it as close to human as possible, trying to have it simulate feelings. I've been watching recently on television. This kind of how this conversation came up between where we got to the point where it was like, look, don't tell me nothing. I'm going to go off of what I see with my own eyes, my own experiences, and my own source. My source comes from downloads, like I said, my own downloads. I get most of my downloads in the sun. However, I can just wake up with downloads. I was recently instructed to fast for 7 days. I just came off that 7-day fast and I felt great. But I was instructed to do it with particular instructions. There was nothing that was, it was like, and it was nothing like, it wasn't a cloudy, I wasn't trying to figure out what was being said. I had the information. So this is what I'm trying to tell you is that they put information right in front of us. If you're a TV watcher or a movie watcher or a series watcher, they put it right on ABC, NBC, all of those C's, A, B, C, D, E, F, G's, all of those networks. Listen to what they call. They call networks. And you're watching it on a channel where they're channeling your energy to promote their situations. They're channeling your energy to promote their agendas. So they put this stuff in front of you on the news and they say, hey, this here happened. And as long as they tell you what they want you to know, they will be channeling your energy. The most energy that goes into a situation is when the highest amount of time that it will manifest. So all of the energy, if you put this on the news across the world, when you have world news and it goes across the world, all of the energy that people put into it, did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened? Oh my God, I can't believe what happened. Did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened? Oh my goodness, this happened. And it keeps happening over and over again. They're winning. They're channeling your energy. They're allowing you allowing them to suck it all up out of you. You start your day off all messed up because you was watching the news when you woke up in the rising. And that is crossing over boundaries when you decide to share that information with a person that didn't even ask you. So when somebody say, did you see that? That what happened to whoever? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I hate to say it like this, but this is most of the time the best way I can get it across to you. I don't care. I don't care. And you can call it cold, calculating, whatever you decide that you want to call it. But what I call it is protecting my energy, protecting my sanity, protecting my peace. I am protecting my peace. Understand that. So when you get around someone and you want to share your whatever you heard, the gossip of the day, because you ain't got nothing else to talk to them about. You know what I'm saying? What happened to people just having conversations with people? And it ain't have nothing to do with what the news is. We don't even have nothing to say to people no more. We be like, oh, did you hear about that weather and that hurricane that happened over in wherever and wherever? And did you hear about that man that jumped off the cliff and such and such? And did you hear about the fire with the kids and the baby? Did you hear about? That's all we got. That's all they. This ain't nobody telling you no good news. The news not even telling you good news. And you just diving right on into it. Don't tell me nothing. I don't want to know nothing. I'd rather be oblivious and the world come crashing down than to know that there's somebody saying, oh, the world coming to the end. Do you know in 1999, when 2000 hit, they said that was going to be the end of the world. In 1999 and 2000, when 2000 at the end, when the ball was dropping and it was hitting midnight, they said the end of the world was coming in 2000. It's 2025, 25 years later. It feels more like right now the world coming to an end than it was in 2000. My point is you know how many people put energy into that? Oh my gosh, they gonna shut down the world. It's gonna go black. It's gonna go dark. Everything is gonna be shut down. And we not gonna be able to function and live. And we gonna be living destitute and just so much BS. And we go for all this stuff all the time because they feed it to us. And we eat it up. Not me. Most people. Because people can't even just have conversations with themselves no more. They just can't. I mean, with others. Without bringing up other people's BS. Talk about something that is beneficial and promoting positivity and self-improvement and longevity and how to bring joy, or I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do we have to talk about doom and gloom all the time? Everything has to be doom and gloom. I think if we did respect each other's boundaries, that would be the first place to start in a space where if we had that understand. So most people don't know how to treat you until you tell them how to treat you, right? But once you tell them how to treat you and still cross those boundaries, do you look at that as a form of disrespect or just disregard? Because I've been in a place where I really don't like being disregarded. But I realize that people will disregard you and what your expectations of what you expect. They'll disregard all of that stuff. They'll just throw it to the wolves, throw it over to the left, throw it to the right, whatever the situation might be. They don't care. Another situation that comes up with this is another space that I get attacked quite a bit is like in a religious space, right? I always felt like, because again, when I talked about those three sectors, I was like, it's a group of people here, group of people here, group of people here. And these people here, this is what the normalization has been for the people that's over here. And I'm all the way over here, all the way to the right. And these people here on the left, they have the things that are considered normal. The people here on the right, which is, I'm in that group of people on the right, they're far-fetched from people thinking that you're normal, you're kind of out of the loop, that kind of thing. But I'm also a person who sees everybody, or at least attempts to see everybody for who they are and accept them where they at, right? I meet them exactly where they at. I accept you for who you are, and I meet you right where you are. That's it. And I don't need to do no more than that. But what I do notice is when it comes down to, as I just spoke about, when it comes down to religion, there's different sectors, I should say, to religion. And in religion, the most common things are said like, things like, I will pray for you. God bless you. Be blessed. Just get down on your knees and fall on your face and ask God to do. These are things that people say. And it's okay. You get what I'm saying? Because they feel like, oh, these people are saying these things because it's okay to say these things because it's normalized, right? These are normalized saying, be blessed, God bless you, just those things. I'm not saying I'm offended in any way by these things, but what I am saying is that they're normalized. But if I said things like, I don't know, if I walked around and I said, well, I don't rock with Jesus. I don't rock with God. God ain't real to me. Jesus ain't real to me. If I walked around and I said things like that, right? I would be shunned. But it's okay because if I don't rock with that, right? It's okay for you to say something to me like, be blessed. God loves you. Why is it okay for you to push your agenda, your way of how you are and what you think is that you're doing that's kind? You think this is a kind thing? You think this is okay? You think this is probably the end all be all? Because people that I know don't rock with no Jesus and God and otherwise will be like, be blessed. But what does that mean coming from a mouth of someone who is not intentionally, truly having your best interests at heart? Do we even know what the word blessed means? If you look at the word in its origin, it's the letter B, less. So are we telling people to be less? Or are we telling people a blessing is something else based on a definition given by someone that we don't even know who they are? I'm just saying. Where I stand with things is I don't have a stance. I'm everything. This is what I'm saying. But that's not acceptable because you need to take a side. And I don't need to take a side. I can be everything. It's those that don't identify with, themselves as a whole who thinks that they have to identify with something else in order to be. But I can just be. When I came to this earth, I wasn't a Christian. When I came to this earth, I wasn't any of these things that they created. I wasn't a Catholic. I wasn't a Muslim. I wasn't any of these things. They were put in front of me to become. I was not, as far as my occupation, if you're a doctor, you were not a doctor, you were not a lawyer, you were not a police officer, you weren't anything. When you came to this earth, you were just a being. You were just being. That's it. You just here. So why do we think that we have to have all these things attached to ourselves? It's not necessary. It's just not necessary. It's not necessary for us to have these things attached to ourselves. We don't have to. But we think that we do because this is what we've been told our entire lives. Usually what you are is whatever your parents were, right? So, or whatever your parents attached themselves to, and their parents' parents attached themselves to, and those parents' parents attached themselves to. So if you grew up in a predominantly Christian household or a religious type of household, and they taught you those things were handed down to you, but you were not born that. Just like it says that you were born in sin. How could you be born in sin when you just got here? What made you a sinner as a baby? That's what I want to know. So like certain things I start to analyze and ask questions about. And at the end of the day, I gotten some answers and I have some places I haven't gotten answers. Just like I said to everyone earlier when I first started this live, I don't have to push myself onto others. If you want to hear what I got to say, then you're going to be here listening to what I got to say. If you're not interested in what I got to say, you're not going to be here listening to me. I'm not going to listen to nobody or have nothing put into my spirit that I don't want to receive in my spirit or give energy to. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Because I feel like that and everything else overrides your it overrides your own boundaries when you do things like that. So if you can't respect your boundaries, you can't expect others to respect it either. And the only thing I ever ask is just don't tell me nothing. What's so hard about not telling me something? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good being me. And I hope you're good being you. When we learn who we are, when you learn who you are and you start to move in that direction, don't let nobody tell you nothing about you. Study you. I was on a live earlier and we were talking about self. And I was thinking the one thing that most people don't do is study themselves. They get up every day and they think they attach themselves to the things that they have to do. They attach themselves to the things that actually, they attach themselves to the things that they're defined as. If you're an architect, then they say, you're an architect. But are you? But what are you? If I asked you right now who you are, would you be able to tell me who you are? I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I am a human spiritual. I am a human being. I'm a spiritual being, I'm sorry, having a human experience. I am a being. That's it. If you take away everything else attached to this entire world, that's what you would have left. So that's why I say to you, study yourself and begin to see the things that are truly there for you as a person. Like, well, how are you showing up as a person for yourself? Forget showing up for others. Show up for you. See how that looks for you. You get what I mean? Like, why would you not know about you? Some people can tell you about everything in history. Some people can tell you all the stuff that's been happened in the world, across the world, and over time. They could tell you all this stuff. But if you ask them who they are, they can't tell you. They might tell you they're a scholar or a mother or a father. And none of those things are who you are. They're what you do. They're what you do. You mother, you father, you raise your children. If you are a scholar, that's what you do. You read, you study. That's what you do. It's not who you are. And so when you start to learn who you are, you will see things a little differently. You get what I mean? My channel here is not about this in any kind of way. It is about self. It is learning about self, knowing about self. And I really, truly believe in knowing thyself. Right. So I don't even like to say believe. I really am knowing that you need to know thyself. All right. So believing is even you're allowing somebody else's thoughts to infiltrate you in a believing as well, because you would have to take what someone said and then allow that to be something that you rock with, something that you mess around with, right? So to believe something is also something that you are lessening your validating someone else's thoughts and with your own, saying that they're your own, right? So if I tell you that the moon is green outside, and you go outside and you look at it and it kind of look a little green, you'll be like, that moon ain't green. It's a little green. Then you have an opinion on it. Like, you gonna say, well, it's not really green. It look like grayish green. But if somebody tell you, what's something else that someone would tell you that you would just leave, that you ain't even seen? I don't know. Let's go back to religion. Someone tells you that, you know, things that happen. No, let's just start history. Let's go with history. Something that happened in history, you would have to believe that it happened and wouldn't have any way of knowing. Why is that? Because you did not experience it. Your knowing comes from experience. Believing comes from someone else's experience that they projected on you, and now you say you believe it because someone told you. I've been living my whole entire life based on what people have told me, and I've been told a whole bunch of lies in that realm. But I also think that those things that I think I've been told as lies are just misconceptions that I have received from others based on the misconceptions that they've gotten from others. Just like I told you, that hand me down, hand me down, hand me down, hand me down. It's just like that little whisper thing. When you whisper in the ear, by the time it get to you, it's all tainted and messed up because they done switched it around 100 times. That thing. So I don't rock with what other people tell me. I only go with what I know. I know my experience and what came out of that experience. And I also know the downloads that I get and what I know. So when someone says, prove it, where can I find that information? Where can I see that? Where do I get that from? Where is it? What book did you get that out of? That's not true. How you gonna tell me? How do you tell me what's true for me? How do you tell me how to feel? How do you tell me that there's something going to happen to me if I don't do a particular thing a certain way? You can't tell me these things. You don't have the authority to do so. But most people want to talk and speak things over your life that can be detrimental to your life and not have any type of resolve in that regard. If someone comes to you and brings you news of something that is detrimental, for instance, if a doctor comes to you and tells you that something is wrong with you, but don't have any resolve to it, ask yourself, why would this doctor tell me that I only have 9 months to live? First of all, how do you know how long I have to live? But what you just did was speak that over my life. Then you embedded that thought process in my mind. And now I think about this, and what happens? Either I am going to rebel against this and say, you is a lie. I'm about to figure out how to overcome this thing, or you just fold and go with this diagnosis of 9 months to live. And what happens? Somewhere around that 9-month mark to a year, you actually die because you gave up on the thought process as soon as the doctor told you that you only had this amount of time to live. The sad part about that is, why would you tell somebody? Y'all got to think about this. Now, I know y'all think that they wouldn't. Why would they put this in there to do? Everything has a reason and a purpose, and it all ties together. And this comes back to how people be talking about, oh, she be talking about them conspiracy theory things. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no conspiracy theory. This is the thoughts that come to my mind. And I see that rocking with Cowboy. If you still here, I see that you can't comment. I don't know why that is. And I'm just talking, and nobody can comment. But I see you rocking with Cowboy. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you for jumping in on another one and telling me that you can't comment. But yeah, so allowing that to be a thing in your life, and that's that boundary thing. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. I'm not just making up something and saying, oh, I think I'm going to say that this is this way, because everybody has their own thought process. And I told you, I respect people for who they are and meet them where they're at. I cannot see if y'all all, I heard that y'all can't comment. I understand. I do appreciate you being here and watching anyway, because I am just literally venting out. And then just to bring this to a kind of a head here, this wasn't supposed to be long at all. I was going to let you know that coming up on September 19th at 6 p.m., I will be putting it out. I will be doing a collab with my brother, Whole Man Speaks, and we will be diving into spiritual speaking and connections as it pertains to like your physical, mind, health, spirit, things like that. So it's going to be a great collab that we're going to do. We're going to just kind of have a great conversation with each other, talk about things that mostly people won't talk about. So hopefully y'all dive into that. I'll have it, the information out there come this within a few days. Now I can know when it's coming. And I don't know what kind of live this was with the comments off, but hey, um, it's working, and I don't know really what to say about that. I mean, even where I click, it's nothing there. So, um, but I appreciate you again, rocking with Cowboy. You really did. At least thank you for jumping on and letting me know. Let me see something. I'm gonna go to the live myself. But I do appreciate y'all being here with me this evening, letting me vent, because definitely this is what this was, because I had someone just come into my space and just not respect the boundaries, you know? And I don't understand why people don't think that that's necessary. If someone tells you not to tell them something, don't tell them. Don't tell me nothing. That's my request. If it's something that that's impacting me directly, go ahead, share it with me. Go ahead, share it with me. If it's my direct impact, and I'm talking about directly, I'm not talking about something that I'm doing that you think, oh, well, I think she should know this before she do it. No, I'm talking about to me as a physical being. If it ain't physically impacting me, don't tell me about it. I'm good. I'm no good. I don't do gossip. I don't do any of that stuff. You get what I mean? So I'm ready to go on my YouTube here on my iPad. Let me switch here. I don't know why it did that. Let's see here. Uh, yeah, there's no comments there. I see that. That's weird. Everybody's talking about great live. Oh my God. This is crazy that y'all couldn't comment on here. Oh, I would have loved y'all to be on here with me. That is so wild. But neither here nor there. Everything happens for a reason. And in my mind, this happened for a reason, right? So that I was able to continue my thought process, with clarity. Again, like I mentioned, this is not truly what my channel is about. In essence, it is about the mind, body, and spirit. And this plays a big part on your mind and your spirit, as it anybody overriding your boundaries is not somebody that you want rocking with you. I'm just letting you know that right now. You don't want them rocking with you. But I am about to go ahead and end this live. And I want everybody to have a beautiful night. If y'all would go ahead and comment after the live comes up and let me know that you were here, that would be great. Also, I appreciate that. And I'll talk with y'all soon. Peace and love. Thank you for listening to me vent, by the way.